Congressman Rodney Davis has represented Illinois' 13th congressional district since 2013, which includes Champaign County. He's up for re-election this year, and there are 4 Democratic candidates running against him in the primary. Homecoming at the University of Illinois has a long-standing tradition of bringing together the community to celebrate school spirit. For years, the Honor the Chief Society has marched in the parade with a chief portrayer. This year, however, the Illinois student government voted to boycott the parade because the chief was allowed to participate. The protesters, led by student body president Raneem Shamsuddin, formed a blockade at the intersection of Wright and Green, refusing to allow Chancellor Jones through.
What we did was educate a lot of people. I mean, a lot of our alumni grew up with the chief and maybe didn't understand why it was racist. And I think the chancellor and the administration realizes how much we care about getting rid of the chief and that we are ready for a new mascot.
I believe that we will win! I believe that we will win!
The chief then hit the same blockade as the chancellor. It was there that the pro-chief and anti-chief showdown began. Violence broke out as both sides refused to back down.
The racist chief has got to go!
Former Chief Ivan Dozier expressed his regret that the university has become a place of violence and hatred.
Our goal is to educate and open up a discussion. We feel that people are refusing to acknowledge the history of the university, and in doing so, we're forgetting the lessons of the past. Right now, we're only losing callbacks to Native tradition, and we're not gaining anything.
The protesters did not back down.
Chief is racist! Chief is racist!
They marched the chief off campus, down Green Street, and all the way home.
We have to go. We're the minorities. We have to go.
I've been following the story as it continues to develop, and I've recently discovered that students are actually investigating the Illinois student government for possible violations of their constitution and code of ethics. Wow. So as the story continues to develop, I'll keep you updated as it unfolds. That's all I have for now. The Graduate Employee Organization at the University of Illinois has finally reached a tentative agreement with the administration. Their 2-week-long strike is the longest in university history. And today is voting day for Alabama's special Senate election. Roy Moore is still in the race. The results will tell us just how important sexual assault is to the American people. My favorite moment from the Oscars, I have to say, is when Jimmy Kimmel and Gal Gadot show up at this movie theater, with a random audience and give them snacks. University of Illinois administrators, alongside Governor Bruce Rauner, went on a trip to Israel, led by Israeli Consul General to the Midwest, for a new initiative to foster partnerships between the University of Illinois and top-ranking universities in Israel.
We try to invest money for the state of Illinois, but we also want to help people invest in themselves.
The budget is how we fund education. It's how we fund public higher education. But for the last 2 years without a budget, we've had incredible cuts and pain forced on higher education in the state of Illinois. And what that means is reduced services or increased tuition. And so this is something that affects every student in the state.
Illinois State Treasurer Michael Frerichs says that when considering which gubernatorial candidate will be able to pass a budget, it's important to consider and hold them accountable for their past promises.
Any governor coming in is going to have real challenges making revenues match up with expenses. So you really have to find out what the governor's priorities are. And I want someone who knows that an investment in higher education is an investment in the long-term success of the state.
Democratic candidate J.B. Pritzker believes a progressive income tax would help fund higher education, while Robert Marshall wants to break up Illinois into 3 separate states to better balance revenue. Daniel Biss and Tio Hardiman both believe higher education should be free to college students. Chris Kennedy wants to add $1 billion to the university's budget. Bob Daber also thinks a progressive income tax will increase higher education funding. Jeannie Ives is running against incumbent Governor Bruce Rauner for the Republican ticket. She is pushing to cut university administrators.
It's the responsibility of the General Assembly and the governor to pass budgets every year. And then it's the responsibility of the governor to live within those means and to manage those budgets. I'm the state's chief investment officer, and I make a lot of investments, and I think there's no greater investment we can make than an investment in higher education.
I'm Shani Benezrareel, UI7 News. I'm standing here in front of the News Gazette in downtown Champaign, where we just saw almost 200 members of the Champaign-Urbana community standing out here marching on a cold winter's day, fighting for DACA recipients. They are demanding that Congress pass a Clean Dream Act, which would provide a pathway towards citizenship for dreamers and their families. I'm Shani Benezrareel here with UI7 News.
Immigrants are welcome here. Immigrants are welcome here.
DACA students at the University of Illinois are experiencing stress and anxiety about what their future holds. In just 1 week, their protections under the DACA program will be rescinded.
There's definitely a lot more uncertainty of what's going to happen tomorrow. We're really just living day by day because so much happens from one day to the next. Coming into college, I had no idea DACA was going to be rescinded.
According to director of La Casa Cultural Latina, DACA students not only face deportation, but are also subjected to rumors about their roles in society.
There are so many false narratives about immigrants that unfortunately overshadows the reality of the lives of these individuals. We do have to educate our campus, and that's why we are taking that step in providing the undocumented DACA ally training to our student staff and faculty, so they understand what is DACA, they understand the policies behind DACA, they are aware of if changes might happen, there may be a student who will affect in their classrooms. They are more than an immigration issue.
After growing up with the fear of exposing their identity as illegal immigrants, DACA students feel safe and supported on campus to share their stories.
I really want to help in this movement, but I'm scared going to, lobbying at the Capitol. I'm scared to go to a rally. There's spaces where you just feel scared, but you don't have to be there. That's why you have friends, that's why you have people that are very different from you that can be there for you. And that's the idea of having allies. You're not alone. You're definitely not alone.
And what we want is a Clean Dream Act with a path for citizenship, not border walls, not an end to legal immigration. All we want is for these people to be protected. They were brought as children. They have done nothing wrong, and they're being punished for something that they have had no control over.
Once the deadline hits, 50,000 undocumented immigrants in Illinois alone could face deportation.
They want to rescind it because of hate. That is really an issue because they're not really understanding what it means to be a DACA student or who they really are and what they have to offer to the country and as people. But just seeing the support, I'm a freshman too, so having that first impression that the community is with you, it was really great to see.
In Champaign, I'm Shani Benezrareel, UI7 News. Right, Joe, I'm wondering, what really is the point of amending this process that took a lot of work and, it seems that it's benefiting the survivors. And I think it's extremely concerning to hear Betsy DeVos, calling accusees victims as well. Absolutely, and with spring break only 10 days away and it's snowing today, Unbelievable. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Shani Benezrareel, bringing news closer to you.